Before I begin this video, I want to say that this is not supposed to be rage bait. This is not supposed to be drama farming. This is me giving my honest to God feedback about how the gacha system is completely ruining Hearthstone. It's ruining the ecosystem. It's ruining players' morales. And honestly, there are so many Hearthstone creators, including myself, that are very heavily considering taking either a break from the game or even quitting altogether because we do not like the direction that the game is going. So with all of that being said and done, let's actually begin to talk about the new update that is coming to Hearthstone. Yay, Gacha number 2 coming out yet again. This is about as full of emotion I'm going to be in this video because again, I want to break down everything factual that I believe is wrong, and I want to try and leave emotion out of this as much as I can. However, I can't help but admit that there is a part of me emotionally that is not okay with this type of monetization being in the game, but also emotionally speaking, I don't like the direction that Hearthstone is going because it is becoming less and less the game that I remember falling in love with, and it is becoming a complete shadow of what Hearthstone really used to be. So let's talk about what exactly is going on with the Dark Moon Fair treasures coming out yet again, but this time instead of having a pet, we have a mythical Yogg skin, we have signature Death Knight cards, a Diamond Death Knight card, golden legendary. I'm not going to sit here and tell you all the things that are on with this because I'm going to be honest, I'm not even going to press the free roll on this, and the reason why I believe this is important for other people to do is that if we got to give Blizzard some sort of metric that players are not interested in this type of mechanic being in the game, and according to the feedback that they got from us, they were like, hey, let's give out another one. But before I even get into that, let's just talk about what exactly is my opinion on this type of monetization, because I'm gonna go ahead and play a little bit of devil's advocate here. I would not have a problem with these types of monetization practices or these cosmetics being released into the game if it actually felt like the money and the revenue being generated from these cosmetics actually went into making the game better. We currently have the most amount of ways of spending money in Hearthstone with the least amount of ways of actually playing it because it feels like a lot of game modes that we get are just kind of dead on arrival. So let's go ahead and go through my points because I feel like the biggest thing that we have to keep in mind is that Blizzard is still actively looking for feedback, but they've been given the feedback being mostly negative, and they still haven't even announced being like, yes, players really do love this, because as of right now, it really seems like this is doing very well in China because this Yogg portrait is now available on the Chinese server, and that's how we know that it is going to be eventually coming into the NA server, the EU server, and the APAC server. It is an absolute slam dunk in China right now, and I really do believe that is the reason why this is continuing to be a thing, is because if it works well in China and it makes a lot of money in China, just like literally every single business in the world, that is a prime demographic in order for these companies to make buku bucks, the big monies, you know? They rolled the jackpot infinite times because King Plush is something that did very well, and I just really want to talk about how everybody else's feedback is extremely utterly negative about this. So, case in point, Zeddy, you know, sure glad they listened to our feedback, and honestly, I had some very not nice things to say about this, and I'm just going to repeat verbatim because in the moment, I was absolutely pissed, and I am still very pissed right now, but I gotta keep myself collected because the point of this video is to really address the big problem with this kind of monetization. It's not the fact that the monetization exists, it's the fact that it doesn't feel like it's being invested into the game whatsoever. So Blizzard, you gotta be effing kidding me. This is a blatant statement saying that you're just milking Hearthstone for everything you can. This is really how I feel about this type of monetization model. I am effing sick of monetization ruining the game that I love. This is so effing tone deaf. And the reason why I believe that it's tone deaf is because they heard from every single creator in the creator program on YouTube, on Twitch. Everybody had negative things to say about this, and I really do believe the only people that have anything positive to say about this are a few people that left responses, like that left replies on Twitter. And of course, that started a bunch of arguments because there were some other people that were like, no, we don't want this in the game. So all this is doing is just creating a gigantic flame war centered around Hearthstone, and unfortunately, I believe this flame war is kind of doing more damage than good. And to kind of go into the points on why I believe that this is something that could be beneficial for the game, but it doesn't feel like it's ever going in this direction, is to talk about how Hearthstone actually had a bundle back in 2019, the Masters Thunder King bundle, where if you were to buy this for, I believe it was either $20 American and $25 Canadian, that the profits and the proceeds would go towards funding Hearthstone esports. I've got a big question. Why don't we do this for esports again? Because I feel like the reason why this wasn't allowed is because there was some sort of like legal reason that Blizzard wasn't allowed to do this, even though I would 100% be willing to invest into a bundle, to buy a cosmetic, to give my money to Blizzard one way or another if I knew for sure that money was going to be used towards esports, towards events, productions, whatever it is that Hearthstone wants to do in order to make some actual fun content that isn't just releasing mini sets and expansions. I think that this kind of idea would be super great. And can you imagine the community sentiment that would be around the Yogg portrait, the King plush bundle, if we knew that those kind of proceeds would be going into the game guaranteed? The reason why I believe a lot of people don't have faith in this sort of monetization is because it really does feel like this is just going into the pockets of people in the higher ups, whoever makes these product decisions. Like, it doesn't feel like the people that actually put their love and care into Hearthstone are reaping the benefits from any of the money that's being collected from these bundles. And a great way of being able to support this claim is the fact that Twist has almost been live for 2 years. I bet you guys didn't know that fact, now did you? Twist was live on September 1st, 2023, and it is currently August 6th right now, so we are almost 2 years away from Twist being live, and I believe it is now almost month 9. It is almost this entire year, the entirety of 2025, there's been nothing about Twist, there's been no update, there's been no new format, there's been literally radio silence, nothing communicated about Twist. And this is the problem that a lot of people have with modern Hearthstone right now, is that they keep taking away things from us, and then they keep asking for more money. And that is just completely tone deaf from players that want to be able to enjoy their favorite game modes without feeling like it's going to be taken away from them at some point. So it's like, I believe that Twist could still be extremely good, but if you want my honest opinion, that ship is absolutely sailed right now. That the monetization wasn't good enough for this game to where Blizzard higher-ups and people that are on the product team were like, well, there's no reason for us to keep this in the game because players aren't engaging with it, and more importantly, players aren't spending money on it. And I'm so sick and tired of every single game mode in Hearthstone needing to make money because they couldn't make money enough in enough time when Battlegrounds was a thing. The whole reason why I feel like this entire situation started is because Battlegrounds was a smashing hit. They made a good game. They couldn't monetize it, and ever since then, they've been trying to recapture that lightning in a bottle by coming up with a bunch of different game modes that have been monetization first, gameplay second, and as soon as the monetization dries up and no one cares about buying whatever bundles from a game mode, then they literally just shelf it, even if players really do think that the game mode could be somewhat interesting. It's not the fact that this game mode is bad, it's that it's being supported in absolutely the worst way possible. So not only are you giving gamers less reasons to enjoy Hearthstone by taking away more things from them, whether that be game modes, boards, and other free cosmetics that were available throughout Hearthstone, the actual sentiment and the morale around the community, especially with Hat's departure, is another reason why people's morales and spirits are in the absolute gutter right now. We literally had the GOAT, the absolute best person that on every single creator, every single person that talked about Hat had nothing but positive things, nothing but professionalism from this individual. And one thing that really saddens me is that if I were to do anything with Blizzard again, I'm not going to be able to hang out with my friend Hat. I'm not going to be able to make content with people that I absolutely highly respect and admire, because unfortunately, even if they do the absolute best job in the industry, their job is still not safe. It is absolutely ridiculous how absolutely ridiculous. But it is insane how ridiculous Hat did not get his job back as being literally the best person, the best suit for this position. That is going to cause a lot of morale problems, because if you can't be the best, if you're the best and you still get laid off, what does that say about the practices that are happening? And that also begs the question, where is the money going? We gotta follow the money, because we don't know where it is. We don't have access to this kind of stuff, so of course players are going to assume the worst, and they're gonna speculate saying that there's a bunch of crap happening in the game right now. And on top of all of that, a lot of people would probably be willing to forgive a lot of this if the metagame was good enough. And I'm not even going to break down the meta in this video. I'm just going to show you guys what the common decks are. Like, I'm not going to go into minimum games to like really show you guys all the nooks and crannies that are happening in the meta right now, because the only thing that really needs to be said, the only thing that really needs to be analyzed is the fact that almost every single deck that has above a 50% win rate is just an older archetype that got bolstered by either nerfs, buffs, whatever it have you, but the most important thing is the fact that the new expansion is still absolutely garbage right now. And that's just how it is. These archetypes are still completely dead, and it gets even worse when you look at the top 1000 meta, where you just have Hand Buff Hunter, Control, DK, you have Fyrakk Rogue coming back. That's kind of a cool deck that I don't mind being good, but Protoss Priest, Alonius Druid, Starship DK, Quest Warrior being the only new deck that finds its way into the top 1000 metagame, even in the slightest, according to 250 games as of the first day. So it's just, everything is in a rough spot right now, and then you keep asking your player base to spend money when they are literally having the least amount of fun that has ever happened in Hearthstone history. Those that are on the product team that are making these decisions, your timing is really bad. And I'm not saying this as someone that's like, oh yes, I hate monetization. It's like, no, we are literally in the worst time to play the game, while it is also the most expensive in order to get bare bones cosmetics. I just don't know how else to put it. It's like you keep taking away the game. You're giving us less ways to engage with the game and to actually physically play it as you keep asking for more money and more monetization on top of that. And I really feel like the only way that Blizzard is going to be able to feel this, even in the slightest, is not even just not buying the rune stones in order to roll the thing. I feel like what we might what we actually should do is not even use the free roll. This is going to be my call to action in this video, to where if you want to stick it to Blizzard, if you want to tell them that you don't want this kind of stuff in the game, literally do not even take the free roll. I am going to be very vocal about this in my streams whenever I am streaming Hearthstone, which honestly isn't going to be a lot this next couple months. I will be addressing that here very soon, but I really just wanted to say this. I'm going to be very vocal to tell people not to use their free random rolls. Maybe this is the only way to show Blizzard we don't want it, because they do have the metrics to see how many people go all the way through the gacha system, how many people don't touch it, how many people gave, you know, the free roll a shot and then didn't give it any other chances because they were like, I just got my free roll and I'm not going to do anything else. I think it would really say a lot to Blizzard if, well, you just didn't use that free roll and you really showed that in every other market that isn't China, we really don't want this in the game. And again, I want to make the devil's advocate point on how there actually could be a way for this to be good for the game. And I'm actually going to read something that I posted in the creator Discord. I can't show you guys any screenshots. I can't tell you any of the context that goes behind this. What I can tell you is that a lot of players, a lot of creators gave their opinion in the creator Discord yesterday, and this is exactly verbatim what I said. I was saying this on stream earlier. These types of cosmetics wouldn't be an issue if it felt like the money being made from cosmetics actually made the game better. Imagine if this money was used to make the Hearthstone client operate smoothly, more playtesters to double-check dev card designs, give esports funding to make competitive events and production more exciting, stream creator events, fun advertisements like the Lizard Race that was in Ungoro 2, etc., etc. There's so much that could be done with cosmetic revenue. I really hope that this is the case and that the revenue is not going to just be in some corpo's pockets as we lay off more people from this industry. This game feels like it's actively getting worse, and if we're asking players to shell out another $160, not just $160, another $160, also after the $80 or $150 for an expansion, the expansion bundles that people bought, that didn't have huge impact, then it will come across as extremely tone deaf. And that is the big issue that I have with this type of monetization, is that you could literally invest into anything into Hearthstone, but it feels like we're gonna get some more news around the corner about more layoffs, more, changes happening to the game that's removing content. I'd be very not shocked to see that Twist is going to get the axe here pretty soon, because it just doesn't feel like they're doing anything with the game mode, and they're going to use the typical response. Well, players didn't really, engage with the game mode that much. No, the issue is not that players didn't engage with it. You guys didn't give us a reason to engage with it. It's like Blizzard likes to come up with these ideas where it's like, spend money first, then play the game. No, we need to play the game first, and if we really like the gameplay loops that are possible, then you spend your money. It really just feels like every single cosmetic that Blizzard comes out with, they really do expect everyone to buy everything. I just don't know what else to say, because it's just so blatant nowadays with everything that's happening with the cosmetics in this game and how it doesn't feel like bugs are getting fixed. The client's still absolutely messy. There's just so many issues with the game that it's hard to pick a lane to stick in, because every single lane is a problem right now. So I want to close this video by saying, Clark, are you quitting Hearthstone? No, I can't quit Hearthstone. I'm not in a position financially to where if I quit this game, I'm going to be screwed. I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. I'm going to have to figure out a new job. I'm going to have to figure out, what exactly I'm going to do in order to pay my rent and stuff like that. So I legitimately have been thinking, if I'm not doing Hearthstone, what am I doing? And this is where I'd like to share with you guys that I have been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals, but I'm not just trying to just go to a new game and then just play that one game a whole bunch of times. I just kind of wanted to use this post to really show how annoyed I am with Hearthstone, where I am literally in a different game, a higher rank than I am in Hearthstone. I don't even think I'm in the gold ranks right now. I played Quest Demon Hunter and Quest Mage to no avail. That the decks had like one good highlight in like 4 hours of playing, and I can maybe do something with that footage. But the point that I'm trying to make is that I'm not having fun with Hearthstone right now. No one is having fun with Hearthstone right now. It feels like in order to begin to have fun with Hearthstone, you gotta swipe your credit card. And so I'm really thinking about streaming a new game every week. This is not me saying I'm going to for sure do this. This is just me giving my ideas. I am literally thinking out loud on Twitter and trying to engage with people to figure out what they might enjoy seeing from me. So I'm actually thinking about streaming a new game every week. Monday, I begin a brand new game. I stream it all week, play as much or as little as I want, depending on how good the game is, I don't have to commit to playing the game through the week, and if I don't like it, then I can just be like, well, maybe we give Hearthstone a try. I don't know. There's lots of different ways we can go about this. But then on Sunday, I can see the results, how many hours did it take, how much I enjoyed it, I can rate it, I can make a YouTube video about it, for example. I can start going into more of like a general variety gaming category instead of just being the Hearthstone guy. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Well, would you guys want a Hearthstone player to try variety? Let me know in the comments below if there is a game that you've been begging for me to stream. There have been some people that are telling me to play TFT, to try Baldur's Gate 3, to try Dark Souls, to try Subnautica, all the different card games that are out there right now. There are lots of games that different people want me to try, and since I'm not having fun with Hearthstone, it makes sense that I might need to explore this type of content. But I don't want to end this video being like, oh yes, I'm going to quit Hearthstone in the future. Obviously, that's the only direction. I don't want to quit this game. I just want to bring back the fun. That's it. We need fun metagames, we need less monetization, and if you're going to keep creating more monetization in this game to where it's the only thing that matters, then you need to use those funds in order to actually support literally anything within the game. Creator events, tournaments, productions, advertisements that are fun. Like, again, dude, remember the Angora race, the lizard race? It really feels like that is the most Hearthstone content that we have gotten in the past 5 years, and I feel like that's a great way of being able to advertise the game, not only on the Twitch channel, but you can use those clips on all the different social medias. You have ample amount of ways in order to get people excited about this game that is not about the monetization, that is not about the cosmetics that you're adding into the game. Because I'm gonna be honest, one thing that is very frustrating to me is saying how, with all the features, we look forward to hearing your feedback to ensure that it feels fun and rewarding for collectors. I'm sorry, but spending money is not fun in the game, no matter what the game is. You don't spend money to have fun. You spend money in order to look good, and then you have fun. I just really hate the sentiment they keep having where it's like, yes, we want to make sure that spending money is fun in this game. That's not exactly how I look at cosmetics. So this is where I really want to ask you guys your opinion. What do you think about the current state of Hearthstone? What do you think about these cosmetics? And would you be willing to accept these cosmetics in the game if it actually felt like the revenue being generated from these cosmetics actually went into the game in order to make the game better? Because currently, it doesn't feel that way. Currently, it just feels like they just keep throwing so many cosmetics at the wall, hoping that a bunch of people will buy it. And as of right now, it really seems like China is doing a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of the revenue generation that Hearthstone is getting. So I'm really disappointed with this direction that is going with the game. I really hope that things change, and that if this monetization is going to continue, we're going to get some good updates, in the future. So that's really all that I have. It's very bleak right now, and there's a very faint light at the end of the tunnel. And this actually seems like a great idea to show you guys a painting that I'm working on right now because of this very small light right here. But dude, I'm playing music more often. I'm making art, I'm exploring other games. I am literally almost doing everything in my power to not look at Hearthstone right now because it is an absolute embarrassment, honestly, the state of the game right now. Like I said earlier, there are more ways to spend money than there are to actually have fun in Hearthstone, and I believe that is going to be the penultimate reason why Hearthstone ends up dying if this trend continues. But thank you guys for making it to the end of this very long kind of rant, kind of collected thoughts, and we'll see you guys for the next video.